and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another Michael Sidgwick from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also AEW Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round-up of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Sidgwick, just Michael Sidgwick. Michael Hamflett, not here today. It is his anniversary, I think, today, to be fair.
Okay.
So we'll allow that. 15 years. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Hamflett. But Sidge is here to review Dynamite and the go-home show ahead of Full Gear. Yep.
Oh, God. Here's... Right. I've said two big, sweeping, state-of-the-addressy statements in the last however many months, and I'm going to reiterate them here because after last night's show, it's relevant. I think it's time for Tony Khan to take a break from booking. He never will. What a completely irrelevant point to make, but it's time for a refresh of ideas. It truly is. It was just really uninspiring yet again, spreadsheety booking last night. And the other thing feeds into the other thing, because it's reached a point now, and me and Hamflett have talked about this, and I've got another third thing, actually, to say.
A third thing?
Before we get to the actual minutiae and the segment by segment. But the second thing
Well,
is...
match by match.
Is that the reason why I think it is time for Tony Khan for 6 months, right? It's his baby, you know? He's never going to let go of it permanently, nor should he. It's his. But for 6 months, just to see, and then to refresh himself in the meantime, there's more than one good reason to, Memphis swap the pencil,
Yeah.
Is that you know what you're going to get. My level of investment is like capped at a certain point because my expectations have lowered in recent months and years. And you can't go into it, because you can't go into it expecting anything differently, because you know what Tony Khan is about, you know his quirks, you know his likes, you know his dislikes, promos and angles. You can't go into it with that wonderful, optimal idea of, yes, it's Thursday morning, I get to watch this when I wake up, or it's Wednesday, yes, crack open a beer, get a pizza in, put it on my telly, yes, what awaits me. That level of anticipation and expectation of, this could be really hot and good and whatever this week, simply isn't there anymore. You know the format, it's rigid, you know what you get and you know what you're not going to get, and it's just, at this point, incredibly repetitive and stale. It's a good version as ever of repetitive and stale. There are some matches on this show that I actively really enjoyed. It's a significantly better, you know what you're getting, like it or lump it, than the Vince McMahon WWE later years, but it's still what it is, and it is what it is. Put it this way, I know it was imposed upon AEW, right? This 3-hour block of programming, but it's bad. It's limited in range enough when it's 2 hours. When you have, it's the worst timing to do a 3-hour TV show before your 4 to 5 hour pay-per-view as it is. Should that not highlight the urgency and the need to deprive me, daddy?
Yes, I agree.
If anything, the reason why certain tropes on the Go Home show have existed forever, the contract signing, the no-touch rule, which they have such a dreadful handling of, by the way. You can't touch in this segment, or...
So-and-so's banned from ringside.
Or, there's going to be limited matches, heavy on angles and promos, is because the last thing I want when I know I'm in for 4... It sounds like a sentence. When I'm in for 4/5, 4.5 hours, whatever, of wrestling...
4 hours for good behavior.
I want to be deprived of the thing I want to look forward to. like a 3-hour promo allergic in-ring heavy wrestling TV show. Well, I guess you're all primed for 4 or 5 hours of wrestling on. No, I'm not, man.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. It's partially, my fed brain of thinking that. That's why I'm glad you're the one who came to the office and said it, and I saw you'd said it already on socials this morning.
It's just, this is why it is what it is.
Because I watched this show and I thought, am I just not getting it? Because yes, as always, as we always say, in fact, the matches, well, one of them had a horrific botch in it, but the matches for the most part were really good as always. Like you say, if you give the pencil to...
Good to really good.
Yes. If you give the pencil to someone else, as long as it's not like Road Dogg, and you allow them to, like you say, do something different with the storylines, the in-ring's going to be fine, because you can just literally go, you versus you, and they'll probably produce magic, because that roster's incredible. But I agree, and I just was watching this show, and especially, I suppose, arguably, and I know you could do this with like dark matches on other TVs and what have you, but like, if you're sitting there going, well, what about the paying audience who attended in Weston, and maybe they wanted some more matches? We could have put a load of them on. It's Collision anyway, so you could do. You knew we were getting the Mercedes title match, etc., the other tag tournament matches, of course. So like, yeah, I agree. I just would have appreciated.
They could put I'm with you. They could put a workaround in place where if they decide, right, we need more angles and promos, more like that elusive sense of build, promotion, anticipation, which is completely lacking in AEW right now. Not always the case, but it is now. I think that's a great idea, Wilbourn. Like, if you sell the audience on, and like you implement the idea of, right, okay, well, I mean, part of the problem is Ring of Honor and these tapings go on for an eternity to begin with. But if you start implementing this thing where it's like, right, we're taking AEW under a new vision for a little while, a new booker, there's going to be more in-ring promos that the crowd can react to, because the crowd reacting to a promo can make them 10 times better than they are backstage, you're going to get like an all-star dark match that you're just not going to get on TV. Like Takeshita versus, like, in a completely non-canon as well.
Yeah.
Like in storylines, you're probably going to get some, right now, top of my head, you're going to get some variation of someone from the conglomeration versus someone from the Death Riders, right? What if you got a great match for the sake of it, which is what people kind of like live? You're going to get, you're going to get Nick Jackson versus Orange Cassidy live, and that's it. You're not going to see it on Ring of Honor. You're not going to see it on AEW TV. It is a live ticket selling special attraction. Maybe they'll film it, and you can get it on like some kind of physical release or YouTube playlist or a vault or whatever. Like it's sense of mystery or whatever. And then the ticket purchasing public doesn't feel shortchanged. It would be impossible for that to happen considering how many matches you actually get to see it in this current regime. But I think that's an idea.
And I realise that these shows bled into each other, and we're only going to we might mention some of the stuff that happened on Collision, but we're only really going to cover Dynamite.
I want to mention a little bit of Collision at the end, so please prompt me, because I did skim around it, so I don't have the most fully formed opinion, but it didn't seem very good. Can I say one more broad point?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I know they bled into each other, but the best promo on Dynamite was on Collision.
Yeah.
Hangman Page. Yeah. But I realised that was straight after, so maybe that's a bit of an unfair criticism.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? One of my least favorite things I see, I understand why it happens. Everyone wants to imprint their thoughts on the world. But one of my least favorite genres of post online is, you get it way more often on X, Twitter, than you do anywhere else, but this person who tries to psychoanalyze problems or say, oh, this is the reason why this happens, and this is the reason why you feel this way. And it's like, who the f*** are you? Where they try and be the profound psychotherapy genre of tweet.
Yeah.
That really pisses me off. Be that as it may, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, right? Tony Khan is the son of a billionaire. I have no inside track on his upbringing other than that which he's already shared.
Yes.
Like, he's a message board dweller, tape trader, used to go to ECW shows when he was like quite young, maybe too young for that environment and all the rest of it. Maybe his dad was one of those, I know I've got several $billion, but you're not going to get spoiled rotten or whatever. Is it fair to say he probably lived a life of luxury, did Tony Khan, and kind of got what he wanted?
Yeah, I don't think it was a struggle. He might have had to work hard.
I don't want to say he was a spoiled brat.
No.
I'm not saying he doesn't work hard now. If anything, he works too hard and gives himself too much to do. But what I'm trying to get at is, right, like it, and again, I hate myself for saying this because it's my least favorite genre of tweet come take. Mm-hmm. But every second of Dynamite is indicative to me of someone who's never had to wait for or anticipate something. Like he never luxuriates in the build or the waiting. And I'm not saying that it's for 6 years we've had this match. There have been great builds. There have been great stories. A lot of it with the input from the talent. Like MJF versus CM Punk doesn't look that way if their shared sensibilities aren't so evident when you watch almost every beat of that story, right? And I'm not saying he hasn't had his hand in great stories with the delayed gratification, but it feels now like that just doesn't happen anymore. And even like we make fun of it's on 41, 14 seconds at best later. You know what that means? You got this match, and you got this match.
We got
no, we that one up, but you got this match next. Go to the ring.
We got a proper Excalibur opening to this show. You
know what I mean? And then it's a match, and then we're gonna cut backstage because it does feel like every pre-tape backstage promo felt so obligatory. Like, you have to do this bit because it's a go-home show, but I'm back to the ring. Mm-hmm. It reeks at times Dynamite of someone who has never had to deal with like consequences in their life. So there's no like aftermath and all the rest of it, or rarely there is, or had to wait to get something that they wanted. And because, again, I don't know about the dude's upbringing. Maybe the father was very, you'll learn nothing in life if I just give you everything at once. But it really feels like he wants you to have everything at once, and that he's never lived through the experience of like, oh God, I can't wait for this to come around. Or, oh God, I can't wait to dwell in just the hope that this might happen or whatever. It's just so like billionaire kid brained in terms of the format and the pacing and the get to the next. It's like we like to wait and anticipate.
Yeah. I think that contributes to sort of fan burnout as well, because like, I get it. I understand when people come at us and say, well, stop complaining about how long these pay-per-views are or how many matches are on there. I like to get value for my money. And I understand that, but like, I don't feel like there's anyone
there. 10 burgers. If McDonald's gave me the offer to have like 20 Big Macs for the price of 5, I'm probably not going to eat 20 though. You know what I mean?
But I just feel like there's no one there saying, ooh, do we need to do that on the pay-per-view, or do we need to have that match?
Brian Alvarez reported, and I believe it was either Revolution or Double or Nothing this year, like everyone he speaks to in AEW says that I'm not in charge, but these shows are too long. Everyone knows it. All but Tony Khan and the ultimate freakazoids know, they're too long. That's a conversation for tomorrow when we preview it. I am looking forward to it to a degree, so don't not listen, guys.
Well, let's get into this show.
And we're on a hot fantasy booking streak, actually, for these AEW pay-per-views. So I reckon we can conjure some magic. What's Luchasaurus spent the money on?
Well, he might have.
I know it's a device to further. I know the Young Bucks failing to win the last however many money matches is a storytelling device to sort of draw together the Young Bucks and Don Callis, who said, I will spend every penny I have making sure you guys get the star treatment if you're part of the family. So I understand it's a device. It's more about the Bucks failing to win the money than it is Luchasaurus winning the money, but have some fun with it.
Yeah. Judging by last night's show, he spent it on a vacuum cleaner he brought to the ring.
What the was that?
Anyway.
What the was that?
Let's start the show. You know what that means? He runs through the entire episode and Collision, I think. All the matches.
Not all of them, though.
Well, not all of them, actually, yeah. I've got more to say about Excalibur. We'll save that for a little bit later because I sense you will as well. But we start with the match for the number one spot in the casino.
He's too nervous and awkward for this job. He was perfectly good, great at times. Like, it's one of those where it's easy to forget. He was winning, like, Observer, Best Commentator Awards and all the rest of it. Like, I used to really rate Excalibur. But he's this like incredibly nervous energy. It's like accidentally, that tweet, I accidentally became important at work and it's ruining my life.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as, like, they gave Excalibur welcome to the show or we're going to commercial and, like, the play-by-play face and voice of the promotion rule, he has stagnated badly. He's just not built for this.
But we start with the number one, the spot for the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet match for the national championship. It's Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet. The bell sounds, then Ricochet gets a mic. And talks about the Philadelphia Eagles to get some heat in Boston, of course, saying that the Patriots fans don't remember what it's like to win a Super Bowl. I mean, they won enough back in the day. I think they're probably all right. He says the only good thing to come out of Massachusetts was his wife. Goes to give the mic back. And says, actually, I've got more to say. I wish Ariel Helwani would have talked to him and not Tony Khan. He says MVP's getting senile because he called the national title the international title. He says when he wins the title on Saturday, each and every one of you will show him the respect he deserves. He daps up his homies in the GOA, calls Bobby Lashley a big, bald oaf. And says,
I love oaf.
It's a good word.
I love oaf as an insult. Famously uttered by Sid. You fat, bald-headed little oaf. We said it to Mean Gene Okerlund. On the subject of Sid, I was watching some 1996 Raw last night, just as a little bit of, like, second screen. I'm on the Instagram Reels.
It's like Hamlet's here in spirit with us.
Yes, indeed. And so he's heading up to work. Vader is Sid in 1996. And there must be in Little Cock, Arkansas, because Vader's having this match against Phineas I. Godwin.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's two fat lads braying each other at rules. And there's, like, Sid does this weird distraction where they're getting the handle on doing that as a trope. So he walks to the ring, says something, I'll reveal it in a second, and then just walks back out, which I think is, and, like, Phineas then gets the advantage on Vader and whatever. It's kind of weird, but it's also funny because Sid comes out and, like, I think he wants to come out and bask in, because he's from Arkansas, and bask in, like, the cheers of his public, so that Vader thinks, oh, God, I'm not the hot thing anymore. I lost at SummerSlam. Sid's on the rise. And that's what they're going for. But Sid just comes out. He goes, hey, fat boy, I'm from Arkansas, too. See you later. And just walks, as Sid rules. Sid's the best.
Yeah, he calls Lashley a big, bald oaf, says that there's nothing anyone can do about it. Not the old grandma in the front row, not the young kid next to her. Turns around, Lashley's had enough. Grabs him, choke slam to Ricochet, who squeals. That's a good noise. He choke slams him outside onto the
This Ricochet noise was goated.
Yeah. Launches Toa Leona over the timekeeper's table, and then we basically just get a squash.
That bump, by the way, was incredible. I was going, oh, don't spear him through the barricade. Oh, no, it's much better. He just cleared him right over it.
Ricochet got some offense in, got a schoolboy in for two, hit some kicks and a running shooting star. He also raked the eyes after pulling the referee in front of him. But he goes for the spirit gun, technically sort of hits it. Not like Lashley moves, but Lashley just eats it or just grabs him in place. Huge spine buster, spear, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Kind of more of this. I wasn't expecting it, but I'll never, ever turn my nose up at a short, different match in AEW. It was a funny Ricochet performance. Lashley looked like a killer. Ricochet at this point is so established that this didn't scan as, like, a burial or a softer word for that. Made me think Ricochet's winning the belt.
Yeah.
He's going to steal one and thus the title, and then they're going to run this back. It's felt like the first part of a 3-act story. Well, it's been a 28-act story with the Demand and the Hurt Syndicate at this point, but you know what I mean. So Ricochet just gets embarrassed, right? Totally embarrassed, humiliated in a match no one in the building or at home expected to not go to go this short. Ricochet is going to steal the title at Full Gear, and then Lashley on the warpath is going to probably win it back at some point. They've been doing it a while, too long. This would be a better story if I hadn't seen so much Demand Syndicate content.
Yeah, but that's why I'm glad it went this time.
Yeah, but I think that's where they're going with it. It's a way of, contrary to my little rant, it's a way of, presumably, if this fantasy booking comes true, it is in fact a way of juicing up that Lashley Ricochet, the one that actually counts singles match.
I'm glad the result we got here and later on for the 1 and 2, even though you could have just done it without, as you said.
Yeah, they should have just asked and smashed that bitch as a surprise.
Yeah. Samoa Joe's backstage with Katsuyori Shibata. Shibata's obviously facing Hangman Page in the main event. Joe's been told if he interferes tonight, he'll lose the title match this weekend. Page's whole world of joy and happiness is about to get very different quickly. Page is guilty of crimes and transgressions against the ops, and he'll be punished at the hands of Shibata. Deadly by design, violent by intention. Tonight, Shibata begins Page's payment, and at Full Gear, Joe will fully collect, and then Shibata just yells menacingly in Japanese.
Yeah, cool. That's genuinely all right. There was an obligatory nature to a lot of these pre-tapes, but they'll never be iconic. They'll never get a massive reaction. They'll never, the sound bites in them will never play over the video packages that don't exist. You could honestly describe them as pointless, good but pointless.
Then that's Wednesday night.
You know what that means?
Trying to run down the rest of the card, and then he sort of, I think he started going like, we all remember what happened 3 years ago. Let's check it out. And then we watch Full Gear 2020.
So here's the thing: the Young Bucks are watching. It's ironic because they used to be the masters of taking the piss out of how WWE people would stand there. I remember they did one where they're like breaking their necks. It was a bit. Now they're just doing it unironically. Anyway, so what we see and what we hear are very different. What we see is the Young Bucks watching Full Gear 2020. And I think the idea is meant to be that they are feeling nostalgic with a sense of reverie about their old friendship with Kenny Omega, because that was one of their best nights as a unit. The Young Bucks finally win the tag team titles. Kenny Omega celebrates with them, having become number one contender earlier in the night at Full Gear, and then he beats Jon Moxley in the next month. But there's another cute element in that all along, unbeknownst to the Bucks, at this time, Kenny Omega was secretly forming an alliance with Don Callis. So some really cute elite lore detail that you can interpret as either they're foreshadowing that the Bucks are going to align with Don Callis, or if it's not that sinister, it's like, oh God, we were ready to take on the world at one point with Kenny Omega, and it was the best times of our life. Look what happened, right? So that would have been a nice little thing for me to go, an elite nerd, to go, right, okay, I see where they're going with this. Excalibur. Kenny Omega! Excuse me, it's the Young Bucks. He does not have the composure to do his job. He doesn't, and it's getting a fucking joke at this point. I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to swear too much.
I get it.
We don't have a podcast this afternoon. You can have a little editing afternoon, Adam.
3 hours.
Yeah, he doesn't have the composure to do this job. He doesn't. I remember. It's just, and it's fine. I couldn't do play-by-play, voice of a company commentary. I can do podcasting. So I'm kind of throwing a stone in a glass house here. But, we're freewheeling a little bit.
Yeah.
Trip over my words and stuff. I will fill in for Wilbourn when hosting, but it really is difficult to keep that train on those tracks. He isn't good enough at this job. And as I said, I'm not campaigning for him to be sacked. I'm saying he was more than serviceable, at times brilliant at action calling, moves. But the nicest thing I can say about Excalibur is that once upon a time, he actually made the pointless, cursed 3-man booth. Oh, it works when he's in it.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't asked to, be this really authoritative voice.
Yeah.
He wasn't asked to sort of ease you into the broadcast. He wasn't asked to sell the true emotional devastation of these angles that have just happened. That was on Ross. That was on Giovanni. He was action guy. He was action man.
Yes.
He is like I was going to say a joke. Well, he is, because we've made a punchline of him. So in some respects, he is kind of a laughing stock. He needs to not do this part of the job anymore. It's embarrassing. He's got no authority. Can't sell a thing. He's doing it's fine when he's doing the PWG part. When he's trying to be Jim Ross, horrible scenes here on Dynamite. It's like, you are the fakest sounding commentator.
And he's trying to yuck it up with them the other times as well.
Yeah, he needs to be replaced in this specific role. It's honestly awful to listen to. Just so amateurish.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Just like, anyway, we go backstage with Kenny Omega. Oh, remember 3 years ago? No, it's not Kenny Omega. It's not 3 years ago. Anyway, backstage, Renee's there with the Young Bucks. She just outright says, "You join the Don Callis family tonight?" As we said, we're not finding that out tonight. But Don Callis is there, cuts her off, says, "Look, maybe after this 6-man, you can give me the answer." But he's got a special intro for them, does it as always. You bloody love this, don't you, boys? They don't
as funny as these other ones.
Yeah, they don't seem to love it as much either. Yeah, they're not looking overly enthusiastic.
See, you say that right, but the way the Young Bucks, the way that they're doing the facial expressions and acting, it's like, I can't actually tell what their motives are. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting conflicted.
Yes,
from them.
Well, it's Callis. He's yelling on the big screen, and the pyro's going off. It was the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander against SkyFlight. I thought, if they win this match, that means they could probably win $1 million on Saturday. But it was like a great combination of people for them to face, the Martins in particular. ...
Eventually.
Yes, yeah. Nick and Dante Martin start us off with a nice fast back and forth. Fast tags from SkyFlight. Sky launches Matt over the top with a belly-to-belly. Nick saves his brother. Hits a slingshot facebuster on Scorpio Sky. Moonsault onto Darius. Dante flies in with a dive. Matt takes him out. Sky wants a dive but gets cut off by Josh Alexander, who hit a flying crossbody off the apron to take us to a break. When we come back, it's getting a little tense between Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. He steals another tag. Out of the way, Matt Jackson. He's not best pleased about all this. That allows Darius to catch him with a Spanish fly. Takes out the Bucks with a dive. There's a blind tag by Dante. There's that awesome nosedive powerbomb combo that they hit. Bucks come in to make the save. Super kick party. Takes everyone out. They want a BTE trigger, but Dante Martin flips up. The Bucks collide. There's a big dive from Dante Martin onto the Bucks. And Alexander. Then Alexander gets hit with a top rope crossbody for a 2 count. Alexander counters a sunset flip into an ankle lock. Dante rolls out of it, tries to vault over in the corner, but Alexander cut him off, sent him back in. Bucks hit and melts a driver, and then Josh Alexander's like, out of the way.
Out of the way, yo.
Ankle lock submission win.
Yeah, the best, yep. The best Young Bucks matches, and this is total hyperbole and it sounds lame, do not care, make you feel like high. Like you high on professional wrestling, the excitement, the heart-pounding, blood racing. They make you, these matches, feel high on wrestling. That's how great they are. And like highs are meant to diminish over time. That's the true genius of the Young Bucks. Like you do some, like, you know, I've heard that you do something for like long enough and it just doesn't have the same potency.
Yeah, you need a tolerance break or
something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
I've heard it. With the Young Bucks, it's just at least 10 times a year they'll just make you like
You say vibrate sometimes.
vibrate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This didn't really, and then you get reminded until the very, very, very end when you get reminded that the other genius part of this genius best ever, in my opinion, tag team is that whoever they are in the ring with, they just look like they're ready to take over the world.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about Top Flight as truly genuine players, difference makers, prodigies, whatever, in ages. Then I saw Dante Martin's stuff with the Bucks at the end. It was like, this guy looks incredible.
Yeah.
If he can do that against different opponents in the weeks to come, maybe it'll be the start of something after some really cruel, fateful setbacks. But again, I'm just not. So a lot of praise, and rightly so. He did. It was a super individual performance on Dante's part. It really seemed like he wanted it, eager to impress. Doesn't often get the Dynamite slot these days and all the rest of it. Again, I'll have to reserve judgment until he does that. It makes me feel like that when he's not against the Young Bucks. And one more thing about the Young Bucks, like, I kind of actively hate what they're doing at the minute. Like, I go in there, pretty low expectations. Oh, we're doing Kenny stuff again. Great. Get it over with. Do your melodrama at the Pape and all the rest of it. And then, like, you are amazing at what you do.
Yeah. Well, it was all about the post-match, really, because Don Callis comes in with some of his family. There's Rocky Romero, Hechicero, and, of course, Mark Davis, as we all know, has got a great ass. And he says, can we announce now that you're joining the Don Callis family? And what's this? The Bucks reluctant? And he says, look, money's been flowing. Been looking after you. Come on, announce it. They don't do anything. He's like, right. AEW is a very dangerous place. And
Matt Jackson, man, stop it.
the Bucks walking around without a family could, I don't know, result in something really bad happening. I mean, I'd hate to see happen to you what happened to Kenny Omega. And they turn, and Kenny Omega's music hits. Out he comes. He's back. He's got a chair. He takes out Romero and Davis on the aisle. Hits the ring.
What's he going to do?
What? Kenny?
It was advertised as Kenny Omega returns to Dynamite.
Yes.
What was he going to do if this scenario didn't present itself in front of him?
The backstage promo he cut with Jurassic Express later.
Okay, maybe.
But
That needed to happen after this.
yes. So
He returns to Dynamite. And he could have done it at home. I don't know, man.
he tackles Josh Alexander. The Bucks pull him off. He shoves them. The distraction allows Josh to pick the ankle, get the ankle lock. But Callis orders Josh Alexander to let him go. And he says, you know what? You don't have to announce you're joining the family. Just show you are by hitting Omega with a BTE trigger.
Don Callis did the motion as well.
Yeah.
I found that funny.
I think he might have laid a kick in as well to Omega amongst all this. And Bucks conflicted, but they might be about to do it. But I'm sure you've been losing sleep, obviously, around this. But Jurassic Express make the save for their friend, Kenny Omega. Jack Perry's got a snow shovel and Luchasaurus has got a vacuum cleaner. And the Bucks still look conflicted.
Right. I don't care about the Elite anymore. I care about Kenny Omega. I care about the Young Bucks. I don't care about them reuniting as baby faces, whatever. I've said my piece. Said my piece, Chrissy.
And I don't care
About your elbow.
if you broke your elbow.
So, yeah, whatever, I don't care. There's going to be some melodrama happening at Full Gear. Almost dreading it, even though I know I'll be in Nirvana at various points during that match. But we'll talk more about that on the preview of the pay-per-view.
It's a big money match as well. Like,
Shut up, man. Let's instead talk about Jack Perry. What's with this guy? You can't do anything sometimes. He had like a really good for him, good on him. That's why you were good way back when performance at Wrestle Dream or All Out with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Wherever. Nice to see that for him. What's his problem with weapons? He's either a total, edgelord. You know what I'm going to use? Real glash. You know what you're going to do to me, and I won't care about it? Set me on fire. See if I give a shit. Darby Allin. he always has this, like, not always, but that heel turn, and it's like what he wanted to do would be really cool if we did this. It's like, God, don't make me empathize and understand the position of CM Punk. Please don't.
Yeah.
But when he's like, oh, who's this little loser edgelord who thinks it's cool and badass to use glass and fire and like, oh God, it's pathetic. It really is. Like, if you think you need all of that, maybe you need to address your fundamentals, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can't do anything right. It's not as if he comes out with like, I don't know, an AK-47. He comes out with like, what's he got that for?
Getting rid of the snow from the car park or something. Maybe he made it himself. Maybe it's his homemade snow shovel that he's brought with him.
No, I'm not. It's not a rhetorical question, Adam.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse to do a bit, Adam.
Okay.
I wanted an explanation.
Unless the excuse is they've just grabbed some weapons on their way to the ring. Hence why Luchasaurus has a vacuum cleaner.
No, you got a little bit of promo in your backstage area. I need to clean that up immediately. Is that why there's a vacuum cleaner? Why is there a vacuum cleaner? It completely took me out of it. My least favorite genre of the TV show Dynamite. There's two. This was Finemite. Okay? When it's like you feel like an arsehole.
Have you ever done that one before?
Nah, I thought I was going to drop it in. When you feel like a dick for like,
what did you drop yesterday that I really liked as well? There's a couple of, you've had some bangers this week.
I described Karrion Kross and the way he moves around the ring as a submersible. I mean, that's how he wrestles. That's how he moves. So like, there's Finemite. You know what that means? There's going to be 6 3.5-star matches, and you can't criticize how hard they're working in there. So what you going to do? Be an asshole about it? No, X, it's fine. Like there's the Finemite, right? Edition of Dynamite where it's like, God, it's a 7 out of 10.
Yes,
it was technically good. What's your problem?
Yeah,
and there's the episodes and elements of Dynamite where don't, son of a bitch, don't make me do this. Do not make me sound like Stevie Richards. Where it's like, I was really taken out of the action. All right, you were in the BWO, so what? You don't have a leg to stand on. Right, okay. Well, it's when they took the vacuum cleaner to the ring. It's like, yeah, me too. What?
Shout out to Blue Meanie. We like you.
Is it? Oh, don't tell me. Because they want to befriend and establish their bond with the cleaner.
Of course.
So they've got cleaning tools.
I didn't even put that together.
He hasn't been called a cleaner in 7 years, though, is the thing. Really? He's still the cleaner. People like him as a cleaner.
I tell you what. I bet you that.
They're friends with the cleaner now.
Bet you that.
I'll come out with a sponge, if anything.
Bet you that couple.
Even if it is that's lame.
Who own that shop. They're like, I don't know, man. Like, Death Rider's really in trouble. They've not come in and bought any bleach from us from a long time. Looks like we're going to have to shut down. Gling. Hello there. I'll tell you your finest vacuum cleaner. Got a dinosaur in the shop. What's going on?
Even if that's lame.
I really hope they come out with more cleaning equipment on.
Oh God, no! There's been an accident. A really good heat angles just spilled on the floor there. I forgot the vacuum cleaner.
That'd be so funny because it reminds me. You talk about people in glass houses. Reminds me of when we once did a live stream in the office for, I think it must have been a Saudi show because it wasn't late night and it wasn't like an Aussie thing, and it was in our old office, and clearly conversations had not been had because I think it was me and Phil. Were you there, Nicholas?
I don't know what you're.
We're watching some show, and the cleaner of the office comes in. So we're there doing, the performing, like, oh my God, I don't know, Goldberg's here or whatever.
Glad you can admit that now.
You've got to turn it up to 11. This one goes to 11. But like, we're trying to be like, oh, bloody hell, we know what's going to happen next. Just in the distance, and she just came closer and closer, and it's just like, she's like going behind the sofa as we're doing the live stream. People are like, what's going on here? And we were just both too shy to be like, Can you piss off? We're doing a live stream.
Didn't that happen again when you were recording the news and some electricians came in?
I think so.
And you were lit, it had like on-air lights in the studio.
Yeah.
I understand it's quite an unusual thing, especially to see in, of all places, Gateshead. But like on air, a camera is there. They're talking. Probably sort out these air wires, if anything.
Right. Then. Hello. Can I help you? But yeah, I do like that. You carry me in the wrong way. And now I'm sucking full force. F you. We did it today. We finally did it. We did the Jumper Jeff Farmer promo.
We watched it.
So we may have been influenced by that.
You got me mad now. How did I forget that's the best part of it? Other than, yep. Do you want to tell them what we also watched?
What do we also? Oh,
put it this way: we watched some legends being born.
I was going to say you need to narrow it down because I also sent you. I mean, I think Kenny and Megan can probably learn a thing or two from the spot from.
Oh yeah, the Tyrus at the NWA.
Was it EC3?
Leg drop.
No, it's not even a leg drop. It's a splash.
Oh, it's a splash. It just goes against the ropes like this. One of my proudest. I've got certain lines I've written in articles. Check them all out. WhatCulture.com/WWE. One of my favorite lines that I've ever wrote. I don't know when that was. That 2023 or whatever.
It was a dark time, whenever it was. Yeah,
it was whatever year it was.
Was he NWA champion at that point?
Yeah.
Popping up on Fox News, being like, yeah.
And I wrote 50 funniest moments of the year. And Tyrus's performance in that match was obviously one of them. And I wrote, he wrestled like Andre the Giant in 1994. No, you know. Quite happy with that. We also watched the formation of Mogul Affiliates.
Mogul Affiliates, yeah.
Where Rick Ross was mediating a face-to-face between Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And obviously, Keith Lee was ambushed by the debuting Mogul Affiliates. Famously, "You a big motherfucker," is what Rick Ross said to Keith Lee. And then
you just can't, once you watch that bit, you're like, well, I'm in for it now.
I'm in for it now. So Swerve comes to the ramp and he's talking about, Keith Lee, you took your eyes off the ball, you took your eyes off the World Tag Team Championships. And honestly, at this point, man, I think you need eyes in the back of your head. This only could work if the second he says you need eyes in the back of your head, this can only work if a second later, Parker Boudreaux steps into frame. Because if you're Keith Lee, babyface, not meant to be an idiot, the first thing you do is you have this 2 seconds. The hell's he talking about? And then you think, I should probably turn around.
Oh.
And then boom.
Glommed, yeah.
Clocked. But
Crunch.
But because this entire thing is a shambles, Parker Boudreaux takes 10 seconds. The dramatic...
Rick Ross walks behind him and goes...
He's like prodding him in the back, in the back of the head. And then because Parker Boudreaux, all of the impact is gone. It's all in the timing. It's evaporated because he takes 10 seconds to get to the ring. So Rick Ross, he's poking Keith Lee in the back of the head. And then he's like, he feels like he needs to filibuster. This is the making a legend.
Young legend. We're making history.
We're making history. This is young legends. So eventually, Parker Boudreaux attacks Keith Lee. And then he does these non-worker punches. He's already been in the Fed.
yeah, he's already...
So he's still technically...
Heartland.
Heartland. He's still very, very green. But he's still he got a contract in the Fed because he won an unofficial Brock Lesnar lookalike contest.
Yeah.
All right, get him in then. He's rubbish, and he's still rubbish. So he's doing these punches, and he swings back the arm. I understand he's probably been told, oh, you can't do real punches. Obviously, one, it's predetermined. Two, you're going to have to do some theatrics, and you have to really register that you're doing the big arm swing. Got it. I'll separate my shoulder, to try and get the biggest swing possible. Because you want that, don't you? It's like, well, no, you've taken it too far now.
And someone backstage is giving him the note. And obviously, Keith will sell for you, but you need to sell for the punch as well. And then I think someone else has gone, what we normally do when I punch someone is I pretend like I've been electrocuted.
Well, this is it. So I'm getting to. So he does that's one way of looking at it. Another thing. So he does the, right, swing all the way back and it's just like this rubbish. You're trying to do wrestling punches. Then, as Wilbourn says, it looks like he's being electrocuted because he keeps going. It's like he's body popping. Do you know that dance? Yeah. And he's screaming because, he has to convey intensity. So he's body popping and screaming. And then, like, he's going, boom. And then, like, Keith Lee, like, oh, God. He gets the better of him, he's a young legend, and this is the making of a legend. He's making history, but he's still, he's still not Keith Lee. So, like, Keith Lee approaches Swerve up the ramp, and he's like, oh, why are you backing off? And then in comes Trench. Who? Is your name Trench? Yeah, that's right. And then, so it's 2-on-1 now. It's 2-on-1. Rick Ross is still in the background going, we making history. And then, like, it's such a shambles. The work looks terrible. The timing's off. Rick Ross is just saying whatever all the time, constantly. It's a farce. It's brilliant. Put this in the bullet points as we relive one of AEW's greatest moments.
Yeah.
And the camera operator just sidles up the ramp to get Swerve's reaction to this camera here. And then it's even he's got this look on his face of like, yeah, I'm not sure about this either, guys. Because he goes, it is a masterpiece.
I compared it to that meme of the little girl in the back of the car.
Yeah.
We're going to Disneyland. And she's like, he sort of is like, yeah.
Swerve does try for a while.
Yeah, he sells for it. And then he's just like, yeah, it isn't working, is it?
And then he's just like, I mean, it's an involuntary, like, oh no.
It's in my world, I have like the flow chart of like, do you want to watch, not non-match, one of AEW's most memorable moments? Yes. Do you want to watch the good one? If yes, go to the Cody whipping scene with MJF.
Yeah.
If no, it's this every single time. It's like a yearly treat.
It's amazing, man. I'm like, you don't get it. I've described this era of wrestling with Tony Khan and Levesque in charge as bland competence. I've never experienced it because I've always had some lunatic or other in charge of creative of at least one of the major US companies. It's different now. We're on bland competence.
Yeah.
It's like an uninspiring kind of bad. I need more of this. It was amazing.
I've found the 50 funniest wrestling moments of 2023. I've only found the first page, but I'm going to read this the rest of today.
Aye.
Because it's 49. Tyrus is the worst wrestler alive. And yes, the last line is comparing him to Andre in 94. Just the first few here, Sidge. The Undertaker kicks a shark's ass.
He did.
Road Dogg's infamous line.
You're looking smooth AF.
MJF slagging off his mother, and 50. This just made the list.
That's because this is created it.
Taz telling the Empire State Building to F off, and then someone replying going, it's a building. He goes, fair point.
Is it not because they mocked up the Empire State Building in like another team's
Eagles,
colors?
yes.
Yeah. And then he tells the Empire State Building to F off. It's a building, mate. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fair point. I took it too far there.
Taz's Twitter, man. Because of how awful that platform is, it's run off pretty much all of them. But like Taz used to be a good poster. Mm-hmm. I have no heat with exotic birds. Basic birds piss me off my whole life. I have no heat with exotic birds.
Anyway, we'll talk more about books, Omega, Jurassic Express, etc. on the preview tomorrow. We get a backstage promo with the Babes of Wrath.
Oh, God, I hate them.
Talking about the sisters.
I think I'm the only person alive who hates them.
The Sisters of Sin. They've got.
I mean, you can't hate them.
No.
I do like them. I also hate them.
Do they give you the ick?
A little bit.
Yeah. Hardy Cameron said they're fun, excitable, bodacious. People might not take them seriously, but why don't you just ask Athena and Mercedes about what we can do? They're going to be the first ever women's tag team champions, and they chest bump and walk out of the shop, yell babes of wrath, basically.
Yeah. Do you mind Willow Nightingale's personality on its own? The flanderizing her a bit.
That's fair. There was a very nice tribute to Bob Caldwell on commentary by Tony Schiavone. And then we got the match for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match of Full Gear. It was Shelton Benjamin versus Speedball Mike Bailey. In amongst all this, Excalibur confirmed the C2's back next week.
Good. I am ready for this post All in Texas B-level repetitive fare that we've had for months now. Feels like it's going to be a reset and not before time.
Early on, we see Bailey drop kick Shelton's leg, put a rolling armbar on. Benjamin escapes into an ankle lock. Bailey rolls out of that. Low bridges Benjamin. Tries to nail Benjamin on the floor, but he gets caught by Shelton and slammed down to take us to a break. When we come back, a series of kicks allows Mike Bailey to fight back. It's a running shooting star for Wani. He gets countered into a powerbomb.
Wani?
Who?
You said rolling whatever for a Wani count.
For a Wani, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what they say. Wani, Tui.
Not even a Tui.
Benjamin tries a powerbomb. Bailey counters into a Hurricane Rana, into the barricade, DDT as well. And Benjamin just breaks the count at 9, rolls straight into a thrust kick and a shooting star. But Mike Bailey can only get a near fall from that. There's moonsault double knees, crunch into Shelton Benjamin. Bailey goes back to an armbar for a third time, but Benjamin powers out, launches him in the air. Bailey gets a schoolboy for 2, but then Benjamin nails Bailey with, I think it was a thrust kick. Either way, I don't know what happened here.
Ugh.
He takes a wicked bump for this. It's either a lariat or a thrust kick, whatever.
When the lights go out a bit.
Yeah. And 1E, 2E.
Trivialize-y.
1, 2, 3 comes next. But Paul Turner doesn't count, but also Bailey doesn't kick out. And so MVP thinks it's over. He tries to get in the ring. It's like, get out. And Benjamin just hits a German suplex and another thrust kick to get the 1, 2, 3.
This is bizarre. Even if it was like an absolute thriller throughout the body of the match, this finish a bad finish just ruins everything, doesn't it? I was locked into this. I thought MVP was great on commentary, actually, when he was he just really conveyed his authority and his belief in his guy, Shelton Benjamin, when he was calling 1 second before, he's going to get out of this, and this is how. And he would he's going to roll those hips and da-da-da-da. I thought they told a nice story of the repeated armbar attempts. I think they built it nicely. I thought they had a good chemistry. But not just that ref botch or whoever was responsible or what. It's purely on the ref. I don't know if the directive is, I know it wasn't the Fed for a while, but the directive is treat it like it's a shoot.
Yes.
Treat it like it's a shoot. It's kind of on them to follow their part of the story. You cannot mess that up. You can't, why would you ever stop counting it? Just, even if something's gone awry, just do it. That's your job. Mm-hmm. There were at least 1 or 2. I don't know if Speedball got his bell rung or what in this match, but there were at least 2 moments where I'm was that a 3, but they've tried to style it as a 2.9, or it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, it was a bit off on it.
But maybe there's a really understandable reason.
Exactly.
But that'll come out.
Happy with getting Shelton and Bobby 1 and 2.
I wish there was just a surprise.
Yeah. Speaking of surprises, a match I didn't realise was on this show when we previewed it yesterday.
Yeah.
Death Riders, Mox and Claudio versus Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. Cassidy charges at Moxley at the bell, obviously, because of last week. Brawls at ringside. Strong and Claudio begin. They spill to the outside. Cassidy wants a double drop kick with his hands in his pockets, but gets caught. And nice spot here. Mox and Claudio basically do a wishbone with poor Orange Cassidy. Strong wants an angle slam on Claudio, but Mox chop blocks his leg. Claudio also caught an Orange Cassidy dive in mid-air. Shout out to Jay White. Plants him into the barricade. Strong flies in with a pump knee. That sends Claudio into the crowd. Mox boots Strong over as well. And then Cassidy hits a trust fall off the barricade into the crowd onto Mox and Claudio to take us to a break. When we come back, Cassidy's still in trouble. Claudio gets a brief giant swing, but Cassidy fights back with a leaping DDT out of the corner for a double down as Strong and Mox come in. Strong looks great, gets Mox in a stronghold. Crowd really getting into it at this point. Garcia comes in, or distracts, I should say, long enough for Mox to recover into a paradigm shift, but Orange Cassidy makes the save. They want a doomsday device after Orange gets launched to the outside, but Strong crotches Mox and hits Claudio with an angle slam. It's a huge superplex on Moxley as well. Cassidy comes in, knocks Garcia off the apron with an orange punch, onto Moxley as well. Yuta suddenly appears on the apron and gets chased by Cassidy, but he slides back into the ring into a huge pop-up uppercut by Claudio, and Mox gets the bulldog choke for the referee stoppage. We'll pause there because there's a big thing with Kyle afterwards, but your thoughts on the match?
I thought this was really well worked. It wasn't not going to be, was it?
No.
I thought it's an actual experience. I really quite enjoyed it. Roddy Strong's, again, so much better in a tag context. These overrated singles matches that people pretend that they like more than they do absolutely actively drives me insane. And I mean that. I'm thinking, what? Am I watching something else? Like, genuinely. They really got the crowd. Crowd were really good. Were they really good all night? They were good. They were good.
They were a bit out of sync with the Ricochet thing. They couldn't really get it together. They booed him initially, and then I don't know what it was that.
But like mostly good.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I didn't need to see this. It just felt like an imposition. Like, don't do it. Surely the story at this point is do Mox versus Kyle if you must. And they should. I think O'Reilly's deserved it. And you want to underscore, no, this guy is getting really important and he's done some really huge feats in the last however many weeks. He should be rewarded with a pay-per-view match. I mean, that's how it really should work. But I quite like the finish and not at the same time. In that, sorry, I'm getting a dry mouth. They told quite a subtle story at this finish where it was sold, like John Moxley obviously is bulldogged Orange Cassidy and he celebrates like, yeah, I'm back. Don't doubt me again, bitch. And I told you it was fine and da-da-da-da-da. But Excalibur, who did a good job, I will point it out when he does, made sure to reference, actually, it was that pop-up uppercut from Claudio that seemed to really take the wind out of Orange Cassidy. Yeah. And maybe it looked a little bit like John Moxley's just swooped in to steal the glory, if you like. What I like about that, I still wouldn't have beat Orange Cassidy for what ultimately no reason. But what it kind of does is it delays this inevitable Mox is going to get like rocked by the Death Riders, because they've established, no, Moxley's not all the way back. He's trying to reassert his credibility and his sort of like authority over the leadership over the Death Riders, but really it was Claudio. Mm-hmm. This isn't necessarily a reflection on like John Moxley's form. So I did like that element of it. Nice bit of subtle storytelling through the language of pro wrestling. I'm not saying you should never do that. I'm saying you need more promos. I'm not saying never drop like them telling stories through the wrestling. This is the wrestling company. It's a sports-oriented company. More of that, if anything. I thought that was really, really well done. But surely when he's got a really big match, and they've told the story of Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley through the pro wrestling. I'm not saying to never stop doing that. What I'm saying is put the exclamation point on it. Have Kyle O'Reilly cut an in-ring promo. Surely now is the time where the fans are really starting to respond to him. Like the story with John Moxley, this sort of like mini arc, if you like, this subplot is becoming emphasized, becoming a plot in and of itself. The fans really are gravitating towards Kyle O'Reilly. He was really over here when he came in for his post-match with Mox.
I like what he did in the brief promo time that they gave him, just yelling at him, basically.
But, like, why can't he have his sort of, like, under the spotlight, advertised, Kyle O'Reilly will speak, he will address, and he will issue the challenge to John Moxley, maybe draw on the idea of the theme of, like, you're quitting, and I'm making you quit. You know who didn't quit? You know who won't quit? Me. he's talked about his like atrophy and his muscles,
Yeah.
and the fact that he couldn't hold his daughter for a long time, really soon after she was born. I know he said it before. Say it again, louder, with a mic, with a spotlight, with the segment dedicated to you. It just feels like these little, like, the worst thing is with AEW a lot of the time, as I've just mentioned, is everyone has seen they've done the work to establish, brag about it, promote it.
Yeah.
That's what it's bragging. That's what it is. You've told this good story. You've signed this great wrestler. Promote it. Brag.
Yeah.
Like, underline it, underscore it, put it in bold.
Yeah, what we got was, it was great in terms of, like you say, the in-ring stuff. Kyle O'Reilly hit the ring because they were beating down Cassidy and got an ankle lock on Moxley, who just frantically taps. And then, I did like the spot where he's got the ankle lock, and you was like, traditionally you see that, and someone comes in, you're like, oh God, you're going to kick him, and then they have to release the hold. You put the boost to O'Reilly, and he just didn't let go. The referees are pleading with Kyle. Strong and Cassidy hold off Garcia, Yuta, Claudio, but they managed to get Mox to safety. O'Reilly grabs a mic and demands a no-holds-barred match with Mox at Full Gear. Just like at Blood and Guts, the history books will say you tapped out. He looked awesome here, Kyle.
You did. I still would have approached this entire thing in a different way, but then again, I did really like that finish and the subtlety of it, so conflicted. Mostly good and effective.
Brodido cut a promo on FTR saying that, look, you're one of the best teams in AEW history, but you've never beaten us. We never stop fighting, and we'll still be the tag team champions when Full Gear is over.
Yep. Spreadsheet check. It was just a to-do list promo, this. Like, you have to do it. It's the thing to do before the promo. Let's do it in as little time as possible.
Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express are backstage now, talking about how money can't buy friendship, but the books have proved him wrong before. He talks about how Josh Alexander took out Nakazawa and Ibushi. No amount of money is going to save you from what I've got in store for you, says Kenny. Get a good sleep on Friday, because we're coming for you, basically. And he does his good night, mwah, bang, etc.
Yeah. I'll talk about this more on tomorrow, I'm sure.
Yes. And then we got the one women's match on Dynamite. 1 of 3 across the 3 hours, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I thought we were going to get it made sense, obviously, in the running order of the show, but I thought we might get the Ring of Honor TV title match.
Yeah, Mina should have been on the show.
She was walking, I should mention, in amongst all this backstage.
Yeah.
It's not really the same, though, I granted.
It really felt like they were getting Mercedes right ahead of and at All in Texas, but there's been another decline for me. It just never feels like right. Do you know what I mean? They do all these things. She wins all these titles. It always feels like she should feel like a bigger star than she is.
Yeah. I got very angry this morning. Wound up by Drainmaker. I shouldn't. And I also maybe even shouldn't be angry at this because I don't know it's officially a thing yet.
Oh, I don't know where this is going.
But we were talking on the news this morning about 14 belts Monet. She's not. I mean, disregarding the whole, all right, the Owen Hart belt is, it's not something you defend, really. It might be like, oh, I'm going to win it again this year. But disregarding all that, whatever. I don't really mind that. When I saw people saying, like, 14 belts now, probably. And I get it, it's part of her gimmick as a heel. It's the old interim thing, innit? Like, I was the first person to say, Sid, I think this interim thing's a really good idea when... double check, because you know better than me. Was it when Cody got COVID? And they were like, interim TNT title?
Well, I don't think they ever said that out loud.
But yes. But
I think he had something like that.
He was off telly for 2 weeks, which is, it's pure speculation on my behalf. But they create this, and I was like, they create...
Podcast is for entertainment purposes only.
They created this, and I said, it's a really good idea, this, because, as Nicholas will know, like, I really like that in UFC. If, like, the champion's injured, they don't just vacate the belt for the UFC if it's just for whatever reason they can't do this. They go, all right, we'll have an interim champion, and then obviously when time's right, boom, unification. What you don't then have is a person walking around going 2 belts over here. The Sammy Guevara thing annoyed me, and this will annoy me even more if that's what they decide to do. Spoiler alert, Mercedes won the unification match, but that means the interim title is completely pointless now.
Yeah, it is.
I said it's like walking around with Money in the Bank briefcase after you've cashed it in.
Yeah.
Still Mr. Money in the Bank, if anything.
I do find it funny that Mr. Logic his favorite show is NXT. Be that as it may, no, that's.
But again, they haven't said that this is going to happen, so I'm probably getting wound up about nothing here.
Yeah,
so I should just let it slide. But yeah, just the one women's match on Dynamite. I was hoping for.
It was a good one.
Well, it was. It was the timeless love bombs. Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa versus Riho and Alex Windsor. What did you make of the new theme music and the attire of the timeless love bombs?
I liked it. I liked the attire. It really feels like they are committing to the idea that they are going to be a tag team. Are you telegraphing the result of the tournament, or are you just gradually, is this just like a little nice red herring? Like they've gone all in on the idea that they're a unit, the expectation is put in your mind, oh, hang on, that means that if they're getting like, matching gear, they're going to go all the way and they're going to be leaders and champions of the division. But maybe it's just a nice little detail. And AEW is still capable of this, of like, they are building visually the idea that they are the most tag team, and they're going to win. Maybe they won't.
Well, maybe it'll be influenced by something that we'll get to after this match, and an announcement of another match at Full Gear. Early on, there's a blind tag from Windsor, who hits a stun gun on Shirakawa. Storm tries to make the save, but eats a double suplex for her troubles. Riho goes up top and takes out the love bombs with a huge crossbody to the outside, takes to a break. When we're back, there's a nice DDT leg breaker combo on Riho and Windsor by Shirakawa. Storm comes in, runs wild. But then we get a Cazadora Lariat double stomp combo by Riho and Windsor, but Storm breaks the count. Windsor drops Storm outside with a cannonball off the apron. Riho missed a double stomp back inside. Shirakawa hits a spinning back fist and gets a figure four. And the partners take turns in reversing the submission in their favor until there was a dual headbutt and they collapse onto the pile, breaking the submission. It's Storm and Windsor who are the legal participants. Windsor hits a lariat leg sweep and goes for a sharpshooter, but Storm escapes. And then there's high kicks and Germans by both Storm and Shirakawa. Stereo sweet cheek musics. And Storm hits Windsor with the Storm Zero for the 1-2-3.
I thought this was really strong. Really, really strong. I think it was better on the whole than the match between Mercedes and Athena and the Babes of Wrath.
Yep.
Like, the double teams from Athena and Mercedes were incredible. So I think that peaked a little bit higher, but this is just a stronger match on the whole. There wasn't a great deal of drama to it, but everything connected beautifully. It was just really neatly arranged. I noticed I had a really good time with this match. And what's annoying to a degree, and I'll wait because nothing's even happened yet, okay, is that I've really enjoyed the action and the booking of this tournament. I truly have. I think it's been like a real net positive for AEW. And the fact that, well, let's get to the match that they've announced for Full Gear.
Yeah, no surprise, by the way, that Bane and Shafir won the other quarter.
Thank God.
Yeah. But now
TJ need to go out and earn it.
Renee afterwards announces that the teams in the semifinals will meet in a 4-way match at Full Gear, and the winner of that match will choose the stipulation for their next tournament.
Why do you need a stipulation? You've just done Blood and Guts. Be proud of this tournament. Let it exist as a tournament. The tournament in itself should be an attraction. AEW is too excessive across the board with everything. There are already stakes. There's already a meaning. Why do you need a stipulation match? To be fair, this match might end up being great. They might have a really cool, unique idea that doesn't, again, add to this idea that the plunder match it doesn't really feel painful to me half the time, and that's a big problem. It might not be a plunder match. It might be you have to split up. They could have a really cool idea here, but even if they do, they can wait. They can just simply do that another time. The tournament itself should be the stipulation, the attraction, your reason to watch. It just really annoyed me that. But no, this match was rocking.
I haven't checked this, but I was looking at the time and I was like, this is pretty much close to what we usually guess, by the way. Usual spot for the But we got tricked yesterday, thinking that it might be 2 of the 3 matches on Dynamite, because we didn't know about the Death Riders match or the
Young Bucks, yeah.
Anyway, Alicia at 2, Friedman is backstage with Cole Fletcher, Don Callis and Mark Briscoe. They've agreed to no physicality. Alicia did...
What's the point? So Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher have agreed to no physicality.
Yes.
And I know this has been a thing that AEW has done. Surely, the reason why they agreed to this is so that you get excited about the idea of them having the match. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, why not have this in the ring? They need to do more promos in the ring. Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a psychology to it. There's an art to it. There's a spectacle to it. If you have these two cutting a promo with no physicality, then the heel says stuff that's beyond the pale.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
You build the suspense, you build the tension, and I wish this rule wasn't in place. I've been deprived of the thing I want. Oh, maybe I should part with my cash. The same 115,000 people are going to buy it regardless, and we're going to be stuck in this loop forever. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, when he said, like, you need a family or whatever, I'll get to it in a second. But like, if that is outcry. Like,
you dickhead, don't say that.
Like, I know MJF's gone there before, but like,
but
it's still
he
gonna...
still went there. Yeah. Just go there in a better place.
Yeah.
There are certain times when he's a net positive in a million different ways, Tony Khan, he really is. And then, you know, when he was like, Hamflet, Paul Levesque gives me a million little things to dream about. Sorry, Hamflet, but like Tony Khan, it's like almost, you could probably count at least 100 things that he's done for pro wrestling. He's made it immeasurably better in every single way. And I do like really sort of fight back against takes that he's a bad booker, or that it was only ever good in contrast to WWE, or that he doesn't know what he's doing. I think collectively a lot of people have been unfair, even when they're not trying to be in bad faith about Tony Khan. On a lot of fundamental levels, this dude just doesn't get it.
I don't know why, because it's always, it's usually a sort of a bit of a pointless question to be like, you might as well just say, talk about your match.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Alicia said, why so high stakes for the match? I don't know, that just tickled me a little bit. But Fletcher said, look, so there's a clear winner and loser, no excuses. Briscoe will thank them joining the family. Can't wait to see how you thrive under a real family. Great line. Not great, obviously terrible, but you know what I mean in terms of getting heat.
Yeah, I need more black comedy awfulness in professional wrestling.
And obviously,
we all grew up, like, I'm sick of pretending like, it should be more like anime and love and French. We all grew up watching wrestling, cackling at the things that should not be uttered, getting uttered. And then the magic trick is, you get the heroes and the baby face and say, that's out of line, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah. Well, Briscoe said, don't talk about my family. Every time I step in the ring, it's for my family. And my road family, which I won blood and guts with last week. I've got no intention of leaving that behind. Failure's not an option. I won't be letting my family down. I'll make them proud. And then he's jumped from behind by Kazuchika Okada and Edge Series. Should hear him coming. Callis says he's going to make Briscoe's kids orphans, and Fletcher thanked Okada to not agreeing to no physicality. Okada said he was glad he could help, and that Takeshita couldn't, and he, of course, name drops Proto-Okada with a big smile on his face.
Not quite like Okada was good, not in the ring actually, but good later on Collision.
Dorada the
yeah, not so good. What's the point of any of this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like when AEW will book something that brings into focus like questions you shouldn't be asking. Like, so they agree to no physicality. They don't milk this for drama, as we just talked about, and have the heels say things that would make Mark Briscoe want to fight them, you know? So it's kind of a waste of time.
You could also, use it as like, I don't think Carl Fletcher thinks he can win this match now. So he's like, what way can I get out of it?
Yeah.
Just lay one on there and the match doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basics. So there's no reason for this to happen to begin with. And so, Okada is part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always an opportunity for him to be in and around it, but he didn't agree to it, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, what you have to do next time, if you're facing anyone from the family, you have to get everyone else in the family to sign the...
Two questions. One, why doesn't it extend to the entire family? Because he'd be an idiot not to expect one of them to get involved. Two, if it somehow did, what's the repercussions for Okada? And then he started thinking, there's no repercussions for any of this ever. There's no fines. They need a new fine.
And if you do get fined, don't worry, because there'll be another
$200,000
match just around the corner.
Yep. They need someone else for 6 months.
Pat got an awesome pre-tape promo on Darby Allin saying, you know what? You deserve an apology, Darby, because I promised I'd break your neck. And instead, I send your charred corpse to the hospital.
Charred corpse.
No one's heard from Allin since, and that's because he's scared. But maybe I took things too far, Blood and Guts, says Pac. But if Allin, the boy that never quits, has got a backbone, face me in a wrestling match. No weapons, bells, or whistles.
Knee weapons.
Knee weapons.
Knee bells. Knee whistles.
There is no way someone like Darby Allin could compete with a legitimate athlete like him.
Knee chance. That reminds me, my dad. It's just the word knee chance. Knee is no and Geordie, right? I always thought my dad. I've seen him angry and all the rest of it, but like a mild mannered, nice bloke. Loves his cars. All the rest of it. Never could win in a fight. He's a sickly child, right? Just mild-mannered guy. You can have a rant, but whatever. I would never expect him to, like, stand up to people or whatever, or be aggressive in any way. But I remember a story where, I don't know why I'm telling this, it just came to my head. It's not even a good story. But, like, at the Metro Centre, my dad was a taxi driver, right? And he was at the Metro Centre.
Cab driver.
Yep. And he was a private hire, which means, like, it wasn't like a black cab.
Can't just jump in.
Can't just jump in, basically. You book him, he drives you. You book him, he drives you, and all the rest of it, right? So my mate at the time was in the taxi rank, and he saw my dad there. And, like, someone in the Metro Centre, a shopping mall in Gateshead, tried to jump in. And my dad just went, the out. Someone just opened the back door, and he went from, like, 0 to 60, the out. and so the guy was like, "You're a taxi driver, cannot get in. Knee chance. It's private hire. You got to." Just love that for him.
It's good, that, yeah. But yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk about whether
private hire, man. Knee chance you're getting in.
We'll talk about whether Darby Allin has knee chance or not tomorrow on the preview.
Knee chance.
Main event time. Hangman Page versus Katsuyori Shibata. Before the match starts, Samoa Joe strolls to the commentary table, tells Schiavone, the slippery little piggy, to stay right there.
Like, Joe was banter during this match, and thank God for Joe.
Well, speaking of going from 0 to 100, he was that. Like, he was like, oh, yeah. And I think he mentioned, did he say he'd agreed? Oh, he's mentioned earlier, he can't do anything. He could lose the title match on the pay-per-view. And he's just like, hey, and then, like, Brian's there and stuff, obviously. And he's just like, all right, guys, yeah, little piggy, whatever. And then when Shibata gets jumped during his entry, he's like, hey, whoa, what are we doing here? And then later when Shibata just cheats and low blows, he's like, no, I think that, no, I think that's allowed.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. He was good value here.
No, he was good banter.
Yeah. Page jumps Shibata during his entrance. Sends him over the timekeeper's table next to Joe, slams his head on the announce desk. Page gets distracted by Joe at one point, which after the match begins, which allows Shibata to hit a boot on the apron and slam Page against the barricade to take us to a break. Oh, I should mention, Page is all taped up as well because of what happens.
Yeah.
Shibata targets that when we come back, but Page comes back with that backbreaker lariat combo for 2. Again, he's distracted by Joe. That allows Shibata to hit a snap suplex on the outside. Page wanted a dead eye. Shibata fights free, tries for a PK, Page catches it. Shibata again counters a dead eye, this time with his boots in the corner. Shibata hit a Shattered Dreams, but tells Paul Turner it was against the thigh. He just goes, all right, fair enough, I suppose.
Yep.
Not a good night for him.
No.
Page rolled through a German. Shibata sent him into the ref. And Shibata just low-blowed him. And Joe was like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
No, didn't see nothing.
That allows Shibata to get a cross-arm breaker. No, sorry, Joe said he did see it. He said the low blow was a legal grappling move. Shibata transitions into an ankle lock. Page rolls through. Bit of an Eddie Guerrero about this. Shibata's just holding Page's boot. I did like the bit where Page hit him with a lariat. The boot went in the air. Page caught it, put it on, buckshot, 1, 2, 3. Great finish.
I like that's his new thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He did it last week. There was fun elements to this, and thank God for Samoa Joe on commentary because he was pretty hilarious. But it just goes back to what I was saying at the start. It's been 6 years of AEW. That is a long goddamn time, right? And 6 years into this Dynamite run, we have a babyface wrestler doing a gauntlet run of the stable that his upcoming heel opponent is in.
Arguably last week, a more preferable opponent.
Yeah, and he's got the order wrong this time. I don't know, it's just after 6 years of babyface wrestler must go through his heel rival's stable in a gauntlet. Meanwhile, Kenny Omega and the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks can't decide whether they're friends or not. We have one women's match on the show, and there are minimal promos. Get lots of great matches, though. Lots of great matches. A really hot trios match, and it's so stale. Like, it is very, 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 very stale. AEW. I mean, where's the lie?
Yeah. I'm going to mention this promo, even though technically it was on Collision, because I liked it.
And here's another thing. Like, it is a pretty back and forth ratio of offense shared match that probably doesn't need to go as long as it does. With no drama, utterly predictable. Yet another thing that's been happening for 6 years. Like, it's time. Yeah. Never going to happen, but it's time. And that's kind of the crux of my issue with AEW right now.
Anything else you want to mention from Collision before I do this promo?
Yes, Dorada and Okada, you might think, and I didn't watch it in full. I was skipping around. Just want to see, I want to know what's going on.
I saw a clip that looked good.
Yeah, from Draymaker by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
False impression. They seem to be on different pages throughout at different times. Really underwhelming and botchy considering how great that match was when Takeshita were in it.
Yeah.
However, so it was double jeopardy. So by virtue of winning, Okada and opponents have got the opportunity to vie for the CMLL 6-man titles or whatever.
Yes.
And it's revealed that Okada's going to be teaming with, I can't remember who the other guy is, and Konosuke Takeshita, a Hechiseru, and Konosuke Takeshita, and Okada's like, he does this wonderful facial expression. It's worth, like, if you're on X, just type in Okada, that'll be one of the first entries that come up because it's got memed a lot. If you're not, and you're thinking, should I watch this Collision bit at the end? Just fast forward to the post-match because Okada's face is tremendous. I saw a minor bit of discourse surfacing about TJ and the fact that they got beat off Bane and Shafir.
I think Bane and Shafir arguably.
Do you get championships for being friends? Do you get titles for being friends and wanting titles with your best friend? Like, this idea that TJ should be
in the tournament.
They should be in the tournament.
Merited their place.
I mean, they've merited the place from, like, I don't know, a legacy perspective, if you like. There are superior talents who have done more and worked harder and, frankly, been better, who deserve to advance in the tournament if it's going to be taken seriously as a prize. I would really like them to tell a story, genuinely, of TJ, who they feel like participation trophies, who like winners who have just won a competition to be there and they've stuck around. They don't feel like a hot act. And again, it's Tony Khan's booking and how marginalized a lot of these women are. That goes into it a lot. But they could maybe tell a story of, it's weird with Conti. She's like a young mother. I'm not expecting her to go on friggin' excursion.
Well, yeah.
I'm not expecting her to necessarily be the first to volunteer to work every single available date and to go on excursion. She's a young mother. But by extension, I'm not expecting her to win this title either, so it is what it is.
And, I disagreed with you and Hamflet when they first announced these belts, because we were talking about Mercedes and Athena, and then we've talked about the Timeless Love Bombs, and I said I think it should go to a team like the Babes of Wrath, for example. But, yeah, I think if... it's a far more interesting matchup for me personally in the semis, the Timeless Love Bombs and Shafir and Bane, who I think could also go all the way. But can you imagine if I'm sat here going, Sidge, tonight it's TJ versus the Timeless Love Bombs in the semi-finals. Who's making the final? Yeah. What are we doing?
I just think that, I know there's this cutesy, they get infantilized, them two, TJ. They're friends and they've been at it for a long time and they deserve more in this tournament. It's like, when was the last time they did anything? I don't know, it just annoys me. But I'd like them to genuinely tell a story where TJ have a bit of a period of introspection. It's like, we're kind of crap now, aren't we? Like, we've been lapped. Oh, one of them could say to the other, it's a shame that we was such a disappointment in that tournament. We deserved to win. And one of them could say to the other, did we? What have we done? Then they could tell a story of them knuckling down, winning matches, maybe teasing the fact that, should we just end this? And no, we'll come together and do it the right way. They could tell a story.
Tag belts going nowhere, are they?
Yeah, absolutely. But not yet. They've done nothing recently.
What is going on up here?
I never know, man.
I've worked out what the stipulation match should be after the match at Full Gear, and I will reveal all on the Full Gear preview tomorrow.
Another thing that made Statlander look like an idiot.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. So, spoilers, but what are you doing? Mercedes wins the unified, what's it called? Undisputed ROH TV title with Red Velvet in the main event. Celebrates.
How do you book it to lose that?
How do you book it to lose half of them? I did see people saying, maybe Stat should have screwed her out of it, which I get as a build, but I don't think you don't want to lose a belt just before the big match where
it feels like they're making a mess. But we'll see how they try and clean it all up.
Mm-hmm. With a Hoover, probably.
Luchasaurus' Hoover.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
What a dorky thing to do. Where, imagine, if you will, it's real. Just how it, I know it's a stupid idea, but imagine you're trying to suspend your disbelief. And these characters that Hamflet's obsessed with, these characters, I don't get it. I don't like any of them. The wrestling matches are good because they're not making me care about them. Imagine it's real, which is how I'd like to approach it. Jack Perry and Luchasaurus having a conversation. And they're like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? God, yeah. I mean, this Callis family are, they're going to be after us tonight. Okay. It happens every single week. Well, buddy, last week at Blood and Guts, we got the ambush in the parking lot. Okay. So, you know what we should do? Look, there's 12 of them. Jesus, are you blind? They outnumber us. Okay. We got our asses kicked in the parking lot at Blood and Guts. What we need to come to Dynamite this week, and we need some weapons. Okay, what you thinking? Yeah, you like knives, don't you? You make your own knives and stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's stupid. I'm not going to bring that a knife to a wrestling match. Don't be stupid. I'll do a blunt instrument that could kill someone instead. Okay, wrestling's so
I've been
stupid.
watching Home Alone and I've got some ideas.
Yeah, wrestling is really fundamentally stupid. It asks too many stupid questions, and I'm the idiot who's daft enough to ask them. Right, not a knife, another deadly weapon that you could kill someone with. Understood. Steel chair? Nah. It's too basic, man. Too basic. Right, okay, what about a baseball bat? Like that Stings thing. Come on. Don't want to draw unflattering comparisons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I've got it. What is it? Jungle? Well, I still don't think Kenny Omega trusts us completely. And I know there's a really idiotic, pedantic British podcaster who's worried about how much we're friends, okay? What if we visually and symbolically gesture, no, we're in this for real, this friendship with Kenny Omega, by using cleaning products as weapons because he went by the cleaner in New Japan in 2016? Thoughts? Yeah, so I'm thinking you get a Hoover and I'll get a thing that you can shovel snow with.
Don Callis, you might have a family. We've got a family of our own. Let me introduce you to Henry. I'm really excited to preview this match now.
That's not a good thing. You understand? That's not a good thing.
There is a match I'm incredibly invested in that I've mentioned before that we'll talk a lot about. I don't think it's going to go our way, unfortunately. We'll talk about that.
And you've got this idea for the stip. Tell you what. Yeah, I can tell he's actually excited about this. Whether that's justified or not, who knows?
Indeed. Yeah, sorry, to circle back. Mercedes won the match and then meteored Statlander because Statlander was distracted by catching the belts that Mercedes threw at her. Not a good look, but who knows?
When I'm actively thinking, God, I'd love a contract signing on this wrestling TV show, you know there's too much wrestling on it.
So Dynamite officially ended. Page hit a low blow receipt on Shibata, stares down at Joe, and says, "Yep."
Probably literally every time we do a transcribed promo, it's going to begin with "yip" now.
Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life, but I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Samoa Joe, you turned the tables on me. You turned the tables in the wrong way. You doing it in the next bit?
You've got me mad now.
I've stood around. I've listened to everything you had to say. I did everything necessary. But when you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry. Now, I'm doing the one challenging. I'm issuing a challenge to you, Samoa Joe. Get in the ring with me. And this time, I'm going full force.
Great promo from Hanger.
He didn't say that. He said an equally entertaining promo for very different reasons. He says, look, you might be surrounded by thousands of crazy-ass fans tonight. You might be at the commentary desk with all but a poncho. They did your thing.
Yes, I've been telling them.
But you are now all alone when you walk into that steel cage match at Full Gear. I want you to remember, you're not going to have Hobbs. I sent him to the hospital. Or Shibata. I sent him to the dick surgeon. I want you to remember what I did the last time I was locked in a cage with another man, and I have no problem doing it again.
Thank you, because I'm thinking, it's going to be a methodical, overlong Joe match in a cage, and I hate cages. It's Hangman Page in a stip match. Joe, we kind of have to, treat him like he's Darby Allin.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
Treat him like he's Darby, okay? Because Hangman will play Darby. Play Darby for me. Anything?
Let us know. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed in the comment section below. Or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch so you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
M Sidgwick.
Follow our producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
Sorry. You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Me and Sidge will be back tomorrow to preview Full Gear. But for now, it's been the Dynamite Review. My thanks to Michael Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.